Hi guys, happy Wednesday, hump day Wednesday. I'm going to try and keep this video minimum because I'm very conscious that I ramble and normally my videos are about 10 minutes long. But I wanted to jump on today and talk to you about anxiety. Anxiety is real. Anxiety is not something that people make up. It can range from mild to severe symptoms, okay? Now, I've talked about mental health so many times on Facebook pages, my personal profile. I'm sure I've done videos about it before and lives. But it is real. And especially now that we're coming out of this latest lockdown, people's mental health and people's anxiety will potentially be worse than it was before the first lockdown even happened. There might be people watching this that never, ever, ever experienced anxiety before, but now since this last year of this pandemic might now find that they're starting to have symptoms of what can sometimes feel like a heart attack, but it's actually anxiety. So I'm jumping on to say that you are not alone when it comes to anxiety. I have always been quite an outgoing, bubbly person, but over the past 2.5 years, I've suffered with anxiety. So it got so bad to the point that back in kind of 2019, I was driving to do a class, and I'm not talking about this business. I'm talking about my previous business that I used to have. I used to drive to class, and I used to be so anxious about doing it that I used to cry in the car, and then put on this massive brave face, go and do the class. No one knew anything apart from the people close to me, and then everyone used to leave. No one ever had an issue with the classes because I always made sure the classes were good. And then I'd get back in the car again and go, oh my God. And honestly, it got so bad. Like when I was studying to be a PT, that was probably my peak of my anxiety. So not only did I have other stuff going on, which made me anxious, I then decided to shove on top learning a new qualification. So if you are suffering with anxiety, there are things you can do. Depending on what's happening with you and stuff like that, you can try breathing techniques. One thing that worked for me was natural oils. Depending on the severity of it, you can go to your GP and speak to them. You can get yourself some counselling. There's nothing wrong with counselling and there's nothing wrong with therapy. I've had both. I've had hypnotherapy as well. I do feel a lot better now. Which is strange because I thought that coming out of this pandemic I'd be worse, but I am getting better, and I'm just jumping on to say that you can too. If you are experiencing anxiety, you can get better, but you need to know when to reach out for help. Please don't suffer in silence like I did for a while, because it will get worse. Your anxiety will get worse, and then it can trigger other types of anxiety as well. So the reason I'm jumping on and doing this video now is because there are going to be people watching this video that have potentially seen my classes advertised, maybe seen my PT being advertised and thinking, do you know, I'd love to go to one of them, but I don't have the confidence. My anxiety is going to kick off and stuff like that. Please don't worry, because I'm sure that there are other people potentially going to be there that have either suffered with it before or are going through it now. But it's just taking that little leap of faith to put your trust into somebody or a group to get to know your surroundings and get comfortable. Sometimes doing something new can trigger anxiety too. And I know there are people that sometimes if they have to drive somewhere new, that can trigger anxiety too, because you're thinking, oh, where am I going to park? Is there going to be parking space? But please, if this is ringing any bells with you, please make sure you speak to somebody. Please make sure you get some help out there. And please don't let it affect your future now that lockdown is starting to lift. Because otherwise, like I said, it could potentially get worse, and I can definitely speak for that. I got to a point where my anxiety was so bad that it was the first thing I thought about in the morning and it was the last thing I thought about at night. But I just hid it really, really well. And I bet a lot of people watching this, apart from the people that have obviously watched my stuff before, wouldn't believe that. People might be thinking, oh my God, but you're training to do a show now. I know, and I must be crazy, but I'm just going to go for it. And I will never, ever stop seeking help if I need it. If I need to go back to therapy, I'll go back to therapy. If I need to go back to hypnotherapy, I'll go there. If I need to go back and see my GP again, potentially, then I'll do that. But I will know that I will never, ever keep it within again, because I will just erupt like I did, and then it starts to trigger panic attacks and all stuff like that. Anxiety and panic attacks is not fake. There are people out there that think it's fake. There are people out there that think that people are just overreacting. We are not. I am not. It is an illness. It is a mental illness, and COVID has probably made it 10 times worse for people. So if you do fancy coming along to a really friendly boot camp, okay, really friendly boot camp where you will feel included, not only in making sure that I make sure that I talk to everybody and that you're included with the exercises too. If you are a beginner, I will make sure that you're going to start off strong as a beginner and work your way up. Okay, there is nothing worse than me seeing videos of people going to a class as a newbie and lifting some sort of 20 kg kettlebell, trying to swing it around. That's just not, in my opinion, that is not the safe way to train. You need to train steady. Okay, you need to train steady. So you need to put your trust in a decent PT or instructor. So I'm going to keep it there. A little bit shorter, 6.5 minutes. I did say less than 10. Please message me if you've got any questions. I'm very, very open to talking about what I've experienced before and the therapies that I've had before as well to cope. So if you want to talk to me about that as well, you absolutely can. But know your worth and do what's right for you. Have a lovely Wednesday, and I'll speak to you guys soon.